A local man named Paul Fronczak had no idea that his entire life would be turned upside down when he bought a home DNA test kit. The results of that test took away his name, his family, and everything he knew about his life.
And it also opened up a multi-layered rabbit hole involving an infamous kidnapping, police corruption, the mob, and dark secrets buried for 6 decades. 8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp here with the latest in this very twisted tale.
Paul Fronczak's quest started with a single objective: find a kidnapped baby. It then split into 2 mysteries, then exploded into a Byzantine maze of twists and subplots, too improbable for a true crime miniseries. In the 14 years since he first contacted us for help, he's dug up solid answers, but each answer led to other head-spinning questions.
When I started this in 2012 with you, I thought we'd start it, it'd be a couple months, we'd find out all the answers, and then it'd close and it'd be done. And here it is, 2026, and we're still finding out new information.
The initial mystery started at this Chicago hospital in 1964. One day after the birth of Paul Fronczak, a woman dressed as a nurse kidnapped the baby and vanished. Police, the public, and the FBI conducted a massive manhunt. The story made international headlines, but the baby was gone. Nearly 2 years later, a youngster found abandoned on a sidewalk in New Jersey was presented by law enforcement to the broken-hearted Fronczak parents, who took one look and said, "Yes, that's our boy." The child grew up in a loving home, but he had nagging questions about why he looked so different from the rest of the Fronczaks. Fast forward to 2012. This Paul Fronczak was living in Henderson, Nevada, and almost as a lark took a DNA test along with his visiting parents. The test showed he was not the Fronczak son, not the kidnapped baby. So who was he, and what happened to his namesake? That was the start of his quest. He says the official investigation by the FBI had ended decades earlier.
But you know what's funny? My mom, Mrs. Fronczak, said that after they said that I was Paul, that the FBI just closed everything. They didn't care about finding the kidnapper. My mom said they just wanted it to be done.
After KLAS reported about the DNA test and what it meant, the Fronczak kidnapping became national news all over again.
Was taken from a mother who'd just given birth.
Networks and newspapers jumped on it, and the FBI said it was reopening the case. This website was created as a central hub for the mystery and started getting clues and leads from the public, most of which were dead ends. With the help of the public and multiple DNA detectives, the Nevada Paul was finally able to track down the original. His name was Kevin Beatty, living in a small town in Michigan. He had no clue about his past.
As soon as he found out that he was actually Paul, he was diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer. Then COVID hit. But the good news is, the only reason I started this, I told you when we first started this whole journey, that I wanted to find my parents' kidnapped child. We found him. He connected with my mom, his biological mom. She got to say goodbye to him before he passed away. So to me, that was worth everything that we went through to find those answers.
But there were still gaping holes in the overall picture. The focus shifted to Lorraine Fountain, the woman who raised the kidnapped baby as her own. Nevada's Paul Fronczak confirmed that Lorraine lived in Chicago in 1964 when the kidnapping occurred. In his book, True Identity, Paul wrote that a source dropped a cryptic clue, the name Al Capone.
And who was behind this? And his answer to you is Al Capone, pointing you toward the mob. Obviously, Al Capone's dead. He didn't order this kidnapping, but what would the mob have? Can you explain what that connection was? He was giving you a very vague clue, but he was right in some ways.
Yeah, so it was kind of like Deep Throat from All the President's Men. He gave me little pieces, but we had to dig through and find the truth through all the rubbish. Turns out he was actually related to Lorraine Fountain, Penny Arnold, Penny Fountain. Penny, how many names?
There's many names that this woman went by. She's been very hard to track.
But that's how we found out that she worked for the mob as a high-priced escort.
But Lorraine Fountain, frequently seen on the arm of mobsters, left Chicago in a hurry back in 1964, traveling with a long-haul trucker named Billy Ray Beatty, who had also done odd jobs for Chicago's outfit. The two of them moved to a small town in Arkansas and raised an infant, Kevin Beatty, under a forged birth certificate. 5 years later, the real Paul Fronczak, now Kevin Beatty, moved with his pseudo-mom to Michigan. By using their podcast, The Fronczak Files, Nevada's Paul and his co-host Tracy Hastings eventually concluded that Lorraine wasn't the kidnapper. Back in the early 60s, the woman dressed as a nurse had been a girlfriend of Billy Ray Beatty, the mob-friendly trucker, according to a source the two podcasters developed.
Billy Ray Beatty in his apartment in Chicago and met this woman that Billy Ray was involved with at the time. Her first name is Marcelle. And that's all we have, and a vague description of her.
The description of the mysterious Marcel matches the composite of the kidnapper, and the podcast team learned Marcel had worked as a housekeeper in Chicago hospitals and would have had access to nurses' uniforms. This map shows that Marcel and Billy Ray Beatty lived near and often drank at a former mob speakeasy called Durkin's Tavern in Chicago. The team is now hoping someone out there might remember the couple.
So if anyone was around that area, hung out at Durkin's, things like that, you probably know these people because he was a heavy drinker, he was violent. I'm sure they made a scene more than once.
Okay, are you still with me? Nevada Paul hopes to hear from anyone who lived in Chicago from 1962 to 1964 and frequented Durkin's bar. Why did Marcel kidnap this particular baby? And who paid Lorraine to forge a birth certificate and raise baby Paul as her own? We'll post the new interviews and clues on our website. And keep in mind, this is merely the Chicago half of the Fronczak story. There are other unsolved mysteries and mob connections in Atlantic City, which is where Nevada's Paul was born under his original name, Jack Rosenthal. George Knapp, 8 News Now.
Wow, so tune into Mystery Wire tonight to hear George dive deeper into this particular case. The brand new episode is available tonight at 7. Find it on the 8 News Now Vegas streaming channel, available for free on most smart TVs.